Hi, welcome to the Tropo Customer Spotlight with PalmLing. So Ryan Frankel, how are you, buddy?
I'm fantastic. How are you, Chris?
Very good, thank you. So tell us about your brand new service that you guys are launching.
So I'm the co-founder of PalmLing, and PalmLing provides international travelers with phone-based access to live human translators. So our goal is to break down barriers of language communication to encourage individuals to take trips that they never would have considered taking in the first place, and also maximize on their experience while they're abroad.
So I mean that's a very important service in my mind in this day and age where we're a global economy. Everyone's kind of out and about traveling, and your service works on any telephone, right? I mean it's just a voice app, voice service.
Correct. So we are not a mobile application. You can take any phone with you or purchase a local phone while you're abroad and simply use your cell phone to call into the PalmLink platform where you will be instantaneously connected to a PalmLink translator who's capable of communicating directly on your behalf.
Very cool. So tell us a little bit about your background, and then I'd like to learn a little bit more. You guys have an interesting story how you got started, so I'd like to learn a little bit more about that as well.
Sure. Yeah, well, PalmLink was born out of personal, unfortunate, but very preventable circumstances where not being able to speak the native language while abroad caused tremendous difficulties. One example, I was in China with a group. I was very sick, so I became separated from the group and managed to stagger my way to a pharmacy to get medication that I knew I needed. But unfortunately, I don't speak Mandarin, and the pharmacist didn't speak English. So when it came time to communicate with her, unfortunately, I wasn't able to execute that critical conversation. I didn't get the medication I needed, and as a result, was still fairly sick. And everyone has stories, situations where they've been traveling in a country, they've been in the back of a taxi, they've been at a restaurant, and they're allergic to peanuts. And having a critical conversation is very important. And critical means different things to different people. And so we've really built PalmLing out of those personal experiences and a desire to help individuals not only avoid bad circumstances, but take advantage of great circumstances, really maximize on that cultural exploration opportunity.
And your co-founder had a very similar experience as well, right?
My co-founder was in France, was pickpocketed, didn't know it at the time, and was in the back of a taxi. And after being driven around the city, went to pay, didn't have his wallet, and then engaged in a very ugly conversation with the taxi driver, in which he really wasn't able to communicate the seriousness of the situation. And so the two of us connected, having both experienced those types of situations.
Wow. So what's I mean those are very seems like life-changing events that I think really prove how a service like this can resolve situations like that.
Fantastic. It's absolutely correct. And in building the business, we found a lot of individuals can understand those types of situations. Everyone has been in a similar circumstance. But we've also found people just love to use the service for fun. If they're, in a country and they met, a beautiful woman in a bar, but they don't know the right pickup line, or, they're at a restaurant and they want to try out their language, but they're not too confident, so they want to use PalmLing as kind of an intermediary. So we found a wide range of uses for PalmLing that on one end of the spectrum could be life-saving, on the other could be, culturally maximizing.
Yeah, I think it's a very important tool in this world we live in where we're very much connected globally. Those barriers, language barriers shouldn't be a problem today, and you guys are solving that. So that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about your background. Are you a developer or more on the business side?
My background's more on the business side. I'm an entrepreneur. I've founded 3 previous businesses. I like to say 2 of which were great learning experiences, which is a nice way of saying that they didn't take off. But but my background as an entrepreneur and as an investor. And my co-founder, his background is both having experience as an entrepreneur, but also bringing a technological and creative aspect to the business, which is very important for any tech business, but also particularly for a business focused on our model.
Cool. So you guys use both our Phono and web phone and our Tropo API and voice platform, correct?
Correct. We use Tropo for our entire virtual call center platform, and we're using Phono as a unique trialability feature where visitors to PalmLing.com can try out the customer experience of what it's like to be in a country where you need to communicate with a PalmLing translator. So from the comfort of your home in front of a computer, you can really experience what that's like using the Phono app.
Yeah, so you don't even need a phone handy. You can just click on the website and you're engaged in a PalmLing call.
Exactly. That's the goal. And so we're pretty excited about both the Phono app, but also the Tropo platform.
Very nice, thank you. So, I would assume it's the conferencing API mainly that you're using. Is that correct? Is that how you have it deployed on Tropo?
That's correct, Chris.
And if you don't mind me asking, I'm just curious if what language your platform is written in, PalmLing is written in, and if you know if you're using our scripting API or the web API.
I don't know that information offhand.
Yeah, so I was, that's kind of the beauty of it is that you don't necessarily need to use any particular language. So I was just more from interest. I'm a hacker myself, so I'm just curious. So what's the big plans for launch? You're launching pretty quick here, so we'll get this video and website and everything out to time it with your launch. But what's your kind of your timing plans?
Sure. So we ran a trial platform during the summer of 2011 where we provided international travelers with free access to PalmLing. And our goal really during that trial launch was to get feedback, to figure out what worked, what didn't work, how we could improve the system, and really improve the customer experience. So we've spent the last several months really developing that feedback into an updated system. And I'm excited to report that we are finally at a place right now where we can launch PalmLing to the public at large, and we plan to do so in the next 7 to 10 days.
Very cool. So, do you have a handful of languages that you're going to support out of the gate, and then ramp up from there? What's your plans around that?
Right now, Chris, we're focused on 3 core language pairs: Spanish to English, Mandarin to English, and Hindi to English. And we selected that language, those 3 language pairs, based on the volume of international travelers to those countries, based on the degree of complexity of those 3 languages, and then, of course, the number of translators that we can find who speak those language pairs. So that's our near-term focus, and then longer term, we'll certainly expand out to other core languages.
Very cool. So how does the if someone's interested in providing translation services, do they just sign up through your website as well and list their skill sets?
Correct. So just as a customer would visit PalmLing.com to register their phone for their trip, a translator can visit PalmLing.com, apply to be a translator, and then all translators who apply take a proficiency exam administered by PalmLing, and those who pass are eligible to translate whenever they have free time.
So do they just basically sign in and calls get routed to them, or they get brought into conferences when consumers have a need?
Great. So great question. So we have translators standing by to take customer calls 24 hours a day, and then those calls are routed to those translators who have marked themselves available. And we want to incentivize the right behavior, so the best translators get the most calls. That way we're providing the utmost quality to our customers.
Very cool. And then I would assume it's the consumer has some type of a billing program where they sign up maybe for Are you doing it based on per minute or like a per monthly type plan?
Right now, we offer an all-you-can-eat subscription. So based on the duration of your trip, you can select a 10-day plan, a 20-day plan, or a 60-day plan to really encapsulate the short-term traveler to the longer-term business traveler or study abroad student. And then you pay a one-time fee based on the duration of your trip of $40, $60, or $100, respectively, for each of those three options.
And then for the translators, do they how does it work on their side? Is it per call basis or?
Yeah, translators are compensated based on the number of calls that they take and the length of those calls. So while you're really working, helping our customers out of a situation or helping them maximize an experience, you're earning real and meaningful income.
That sounds like a win-win for everybody. I really like your model.
Thank you. We think so, and the feedback we've gotten from customers and translators alike has been very positive, and we're very excited, obviously, what we can do to help customers, but we're also very excited about the community of international translators that we're building, and we're finding genuine interest on their side of helping customers to take that trip that they never thought they could take in the first place.
That's awesome. And life-changing, solutions for everybody, to meet their needs, especially as you mentioned, like in critical situations. Everyone defines that kind of differently, but it's nice to be able to have that service in your pocket when you need it the most. It's pretty cool.
Thank you. Thank you. We think so.
Well, we'll have to get you on back on to give us another report after launch, so you can tell us how it goes as you start adding more languages and grow the service. We think it's wonderful, and thank you very much for using Phono and Tropo.
Of course, and thank you. Thanks for being such a great resource to us, and thanks for having us on.
Cool. Thank you, Ryan. Good luck on the launch. We'll be watching and ready to support you if you need.
Thank you, Chris.
Cool.